Border Patrol chief for the El Centro sector. Now, Chief, it's good to see you tonight. Have there been any arrests in the attacks on your agents? Because when I see this video of them hurling these rocks, and this isn't the first such video we've seen since these protests began, this is criminal activity putting individual agents' lives directly at risk. What can you tell us?
Sure. Laura, it's good to see you, and thank you for having me tonight. As far as the arrests go, we've made dozens of arrests during Operation at Large, which is the operation here in Los Angeles, the immigration operation. We've made dozens of arrests, and most of those arrests are for assault or impeding federal officers. That's a serious crime, and some of these folks, when they're arrested, are looking at some pretty serious time in prison.
CBP released this image of 9 juveniles who were found at this marijuana facility. One is as young as 14 years of age. What do we know about them? Were they working at the facility? Were they hanging out? Do we have any idea who their sponsors were at this facility run by this company called Glass Houses?
Sure, Laura. The juveniles that you see in that picture, several of them are not sponsored. Several came across the border, at least under the research that we found a few years ago, and they disappeared. You talked about the children that disappear. These are those children that have disappeared. The 300,000 children that have disappeared. You're seeing it real time right here. This is what is happening to some of those children. I believe one of the children may have been, at least at this point in the investigation, accompanied, but the rest that you see in that picture were unaccompanied juveniles, including that 14-year-old. What happens to these children? Where do they live? And what conditions are they put under, both at work and then when they're not working? A lot of questions here. This is something that the Border Patrol has seen over the past 4 years when millions streamed across that border. Let me say that again. Millions streamed across that border, including children. Some of the things that we saw on the border were truly reprehensible. And now that we're in the interior,
one of my sources
conducting...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. One of my sources today in the federal government told me, look, remember that the money made at these farms or processing plants, remember, especially involving recent migrants, people who've crossed the border in the last few years, underage or not, a percentage of that money they're making, whatever they're making, is going to pay off their debt to the cartels who made sure that they got over the border. So these illegal pot grows and other agricultural interests are helping fund the cartels that are terrorizing America with drugs and also engaged in rampant human trafficking. So that's a part of this that we haven't discussed enough on the angle, but we're going to be discussing it a lot in the coming weeks. But this is reprehensible. And this organization, this, quote, business, this illegal pot grow, they're helping the cartels if this indeed is happening. And that's reprehensible in addition to all the other laws that are being broken here.
Well, Laura, that's exactly right. Every single person that's trafficked across that border, whether it's a child or an adult, pays several $1,000s to come across the border. And that several $1,000s does go to those cartels, as you say. Many are in modern-day slavery-like conditions to pay those debts off. Here at this pot grow, at this drug farm that these children were working at, it's untelling what's happening to them. And as you said, the money that goes to these cartels, that's definitely
no
happening.
one cares.
It happens all across America. All across America.
Yeah, well, no one cares. They don't care. It's the bottom line. You get cheap labor. You get someone who can't leave and has to work. It's perfect indentured servitude for those who feel like they're above the law. And I want you to hear, Chief, what L.A. Mayor Karen Bass said today. I would think that the mayor of Los Angeles would be horrified to see that children are working in the fields, okay, who were brought across the border, obviously a purpose to bring them across the border. But instead, this is what she's saying.
We also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino Card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID, that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash.
She is giving out free cash, just cash, to illegals. So if you want to talk about incentivizing illegal activity, stay home, don't go to work, and then the bishop out there, one of them says, don't go to church. So this is a dream for them. And they just get free money.
Absolutely unbelievable. You know what I see there when Mayor Bass says something like that is she chooses illegal aliens, drug cartels, terrorists, bad people, and bad things over American citizens. And I can't believe I'm actually hearing this, but that's why the U.S. Border Patrol and Customs and Border Protection, ICE, HSI, and all those allied law enforcement agencies are in these communities. People like that won't do anything about this, so guess what, Laura? We're going to.
Well, it's the bottom line. They want, again, they want the cheap labor, just like the cartels want their money, they want their cut. You know, these businesses want to lower wages, keep them as low as possible, and keep people in this vulnerable situation. These workers are kept in a permanently indentured state. And all these liberals who claim they care about the kids and, oh, the children, we're doing it for the children. I don't see any concern about the children or for the agents who are being descended upon by these jackals in these crowds. Again, these agents got to come out of those vehicles. I know it's dangerous. They got to come out of these vehicles and they got to throw down with some of these protesters. You'll see them starting to run, but until these people throwing the rocks go to jail for a long period of time, someone's going to end up killed. That's what I'm worried about. Chief, final word.
Laura, exactly. Something bad is going to happen if this continues. This heated rhetoric, it needs to stop. Because we've made several arrests. We have fantastic support from the U.S. Attorney's Office, Bill Asaley. But, as you say, in the end, something bad is going to happen. And that's not what we want in law enforcement. We operate legally, ethically, and morally. But we are going to arrest people that assault Border Patrol agents.
Yeah, anyone who throws a rock, got to stop that vehicle, throw them down. Chief, thank you very much.